Yo guys, it's Kyle coming at you from Bane's Film Reviews. I just saw A Real Pain, written by, directed by, and starring Jesse Eisenberg, also starring Kieran Culkin. This story is about two cousins, David and Benji, Culkin being Benji, Eisenberg being David, and they travel to Poland after their grandmother recently passed away. She left them some money to travel Poland and to go back and visit her childhood home. They do this, and things get a little messy along the way. I had really high hopes for this film. I am really intrigued by Jesse Eisenberg as an actor, and I was even more intrigued by the idea that he wrote and directed this film. And that's someone that I'm not incredibly familiar with. I know who he is, but have not seen him in a lot of things. Kieran Culkin, I was intrigued to see him as the cousin of Jesse Eisenberg. They do bear a similar resemblance, and I think that they're both very talented actors. And I wanted something really emotionally hard-hitting and maybe a little bit funny, a blend of the two, something like a dramedy. And I'm not sure that this film lived up to expectations. It's not bad by any means. There are some really nice moments throughout this film, some really nice emotional moments, some, chuckle at them jokes. Not really laugh out loud. I didn't, burst out laughing. I didn't laugh so hard that I cried. I didn't even get so emotional that I cried. I didn't even really come close to that. I felt it, but it didn't get me to that point that I wanted it to. I'm not really sure what I attest that to. The performances are wonderful. The supporting cast is really great. There's 5 other characters that are really important to the film, and they do a great job playing opposite these two wonderful actors. And we're taken to places like concentration camps and memorials of those that passed away during the Holocaust. And I just didn't really feel a strong emotional connection to this film, and I don't know what it is. I'm not. It's not that I'm dead inside. I don't think that that's the issue. There's just something about the film that it just sort of exists. It doesn't do enough to reel you in and keep you there throughout the duration. And it was really about 55 minutes into the film, nearly an hour of the hour and 42-minute runtime, that I felt an emotional connection to any of these characters. I enjoyed them along the way. I appreciated them along the way, but I didn't love them. There wasn't anything that really reeled me in and kept me attracted to them throughout. So at about the 55-minute mark, there is the first moment that is really emotionally hard-hitting, and I appreciated that, but again, surrounded by, I don't want to say nothingness. I don't want to downplay it like that. I don't want to shit on this film because that's not fair. But for lack of a better term, surrounded by this nothingness, that hard-hitting moment didn't work for me like I wanted it to. It worked better than most of the other moments in the film, but not like other films that I've seen recently. But with that, there are some really nice moments, like I mentioned, and that comes from the technical aspects. That comes from beyond, I guess not beyond what Eisenberg is a part of. I guess his direction is an important part in that. But a lot of the use of sound and the cinematography and some of these really beautiful long shots that allows viewers to see how small these characters are, how insignificant they are in the grand scheme of the world and in the grand scheme of this really incredible moment in human history, the Holocaust. It does a great thing with that, and then the use of sound. Eisenberg makes a really good decision multiple times throughout the course of this film to just omit a score, omit sometimes sound completely. There is about 3 or 4 seconds in this film right after they leave the concentration camp where right before we see Kieran Culkin's Benji crying, having a very visceral reaction to what he's just experienced, we cut sound completely. And that's a very raw moment. That's one of those really nice moments that I talked about. And I wish that I had more like that. I wish that it had been more moments like that, one right after another, because I feel like I would have had a stronger emotional connection to the characters and the story as a whole. A Real Pain is not a failure by any means, but it doesn't live up to my expectations. I didn't hear a lot of hype around this film, but again, liking Jesse Eisenberg, and again, not knowing much about Kieran Culkin, but knowing that he's a talented actor, I was really intrigued by this idea, them playing together, and this whole concept of them traveling and sort of being stuck together for a pretty decent amount of time. So with that, A Real Pain is, I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. Again, not a failure by any means. I don't think you need to rush out to watch this. If you spend a couple dollars when it's available, later on, I wouldn't deter you from doing that, but it's not a necessary film. It's a film that I think a lot of people will enjoy, but it misses the mark in a lot of ways, and I wanted more from it. So, until next time, peace.